to my channel, Custom Scrapbook Design by Christy Stubbs. Today is my second installment to my Scrappin Saturday series. And I am not going to lie to you guys, this planning my layout ahead of time has proven to be a bit of a challenge for me. So a challenge I am, meeting head on, but it's also taken me most of the day to get started with it just because it is so much of a challenge to me. I tend to be a traditional scrapbooker that scrapbooks for the pictures rather than design the page and then find the pictures to go on it. So this is a little bit of a different concept for me. So I've been struggling a bit and I decided I just needed to jump on and start videoing the process and trying to work through that maybe with you guys, and that might be a little bit easier than trying to actually come up with an idea ahead of time. So I am using the Pretty Little Studios line, the Sugar Plum, their Christmas line, and this is from the 12 by 12 paper pack. And then I also have some individual sheets. So I like to do a 2-page spread. So I grabbed 2 of those. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and back this star paper onto this red and maybe have a bit of a border going on. So I think I want to have about a 1/2-inch border. So I am going to, I'm just trying to decide if I want to just trim a 1/4 inch off all the way around, or if it would make a difference if I trimmed a 1/2 all at once. And I think I'm going to opt for the 1/4 all the way around so that I don't cut off anything. It'll kind of keep the stars cut off evenly. Whew. And let's see how that actually looks then. On the red. Okay, so the red I just pulled from my stash. Something that coordinated, match this product line as close as possible. So I'm just going to cut the branding strip off of both of those pieces since we are doing a 2-page spread. Cutting that off right at the 12. And then I'll go ahead and trim my second one of the Pretty Little Studios and trim that 1/4 inch all the way around. So I hope you all got to do something fun on your Saturday, something creative, something that, I know this sounds corny, but kind of sets your soul on fire. Like, my happy time is in my creative space. So that is what I enjoy doing. So here we go. I've got that lined up. And then this one. And if you're following along with me at all, I'm going to take the time to ink those edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got the edges inked and I'm going to just adhere this page down. Now, there's some of you who would maybe cut the back side. You could cut the inside of this red part out and utilize that. I'm not going to do that. It's just a basic red piece of paper, and it does actually help give it just a little bit more stability. I feel like it just adds a little bit more weight to the page, where if you take that inside little bit out, It could be just a little bit more flexible. So I personally don't usually do that. I know you definitely can conserve paper and do that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. But I'm going to choose not to do that for this particular layout. And generally, I maybe would normally use my tape runner also to put this down, but I have decided to go ahead and use the art glitter glue. And I didn't go super close to the edges because I don't want them down tight yet because I'm not really sure. You never know, I may want to tuck something back behind that piece of paper within that border still. So I am going to kind of stay away from the edges just for that reason. So I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't cut something weird or forget to cut a side. Make sure that fits. I like to dry fit everything before I actually start to hook it down. So that's what I was doing there, is just kind of dry fitting that. And then here we go. Okay, so we've got our base paper ready to go. Now that just leaves the layout. And I did cut some photo mats ahead of time just to save a little time. I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do. So I have got two 4x6 pieces here. And then I've got for some 4x4 photos. So these mats, actually, the one that says place 4x6 photo here, the mat is actually 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so that when you place your photo on there, you've got just a little bit of this red matting showing. Same with the 4x4. I cut those at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, so that a 4x4 photo would fit nicely on that square. So I want to lay those out something along those lines. And I don't really want to set those in place yet. I just kind of want to see them. And then these are some cutoffs that I had left after cutting these photo mats. And I think I want to do maybe something coming down the page here. And I don't want to mirror these. I'm actually going to kind of just flip them and put the big photo mat up here and then the smaller one there. There, and then possibly something coming up there. See, this is where I can't really decide. Maybe more like that. Okay, so I want to use this for a mat, and I'm not sure if those are the same size. Yeah, they're the same width. So we're going to cut these and make them like a flag. So to do that, I'm going to just set this out of the way just a little bit. To do that, I would grab my ruler, if I can find it in amongst my mess now. Okay. Let's see what width we've got here. I'm going to trim that down to 3 1/4 just to make that a little bit easier. So we're going to trim that to 3 1/4. We'll trim the other one to match. And I'm not going to trim the height on it yet, just in case I make a mistake cutting out my flag. All right. So I've got my Tim Holtz ruler here, and let's see, you can find the center. Okay, looks like I've got center on that. Let's bring that down to the bottom, and I'm going to make my mark right at that center, and let's cut that. I think I want a longer pair of scissors to, I guess these aren't necessarily any longer. We're going to just cut just to that tip right there. I'm going to do that again coming from the other direction. And I did use a pin to mark that, but that's all right. We'll put that on the back side and you'll never see it if I can get my cut to connect. And then we've got a nice flag. So to save time on measuring, we're just going to cut that again. Then they'll match. And the easiest way is to clip that together, and then you don't have that slip on you, your papers slip on you, and end up cutting the second one wrong. So we'll see if this trick worked or not. There. We've got two matching flags now. Let's pull our page back over. And I think, actually the length on that isn't too bad. That one's a little shorter. I kind of think I want to match those. So we'll trim those off so that they match. And I'm just going to go through and go just a little bit past and cut them both. Cut just a sliver off that one. There's nothing technical about how I'm doing any of this. It's just kind of random. Okay, so we've got the flags. And then I think I'm going to take some of this paper from the 6x6 accent pack and we're going to add some color to that flag. So I'm going to just use that red as a mat, and then I'm going to cut another flag and put inside of there to add some color. And I'm going to do that with both of them. So I just want to pick some coordinating paper, and maybe we'll do, let's see, we've got the polka dots and the stripes and the hearts. Well, these are thick. Looking for the red striped one to potentially use. And actually, we should take a look at the tags as well, because I think we're going to add some tags to our little flag pieces. So that might help determine what color we want to use. That mouse is just stinking adorable. Okay, so imagine that pattern paper under there. And what are we going to do with this? Do we want to line up a couple tags? Not really sure. Let's see. We want to highlight one color. That's the other question. Like, do I want to just go with one color? Do I want to go with multiple colors? And is it narrow enough to make a match? We could just make a match, which maybe that's what we'll do. And then we've got the tag. And quite possibly, maybe we just want that to come out from under here. Okay, I think what we need to do is mat our flags. So let's just go ahead and do that. And these were the 3 1/4. So we're going to cut this in half at 3. And that'll give us our matting. And so then what I would do is line that up about, you can see like I've got just that 1/8 of an inch on each side. All right, so I would again clip that. Actually, I would turn that over. Grab a pencil, and, whoops, and just mark that and cut that. Okay. That did not work at all. Okay, so why did that not work? Okay. And are we going to come out from underneath there? Or are we going to come from up here? I think we're going to come from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and ink. I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that angle so that it looks right. And maybe the second time around, that'll work better. But I'm going to start by inking, and I'm not going to ink the top because the top is actually still going to get trimmed. And I told you I wasn't set on the height of this flag to begin with. So when I fix this, it is going to adjust the height of the flag just a little bit. I'll show you what I mean by that here once I get this glued down. I think I maybe just did the steps backwards. I should have cut this flag, hooked it down, and then cut the red to match. And that's what I'm going to do here. Just kind of backwards. So see, you can learn a little something from my mistake. And I don't want to do that on top of that other paper just in case I've got some excessive glue. But I am going to just line this up side to side. And then I'm just going to fix this. Yeah. To have more of a matching reveal. And that looks good enough. And then I don't necessarily want that red reveal at the top, just because I am wanting to have that contrast with the green at the top of the page. So we're going to trim that just a little bit more. My trimmer's not wanting to do that little sliver, so we'll cut a little of the red off with it, and that'll work a little bit better. So now we've got one flag done. Let's go ahead and do the other flag. I would imagine we're going to have that same issue. Quite possibly once I cut this one, but that's okay. If you're gonna attempt this page, I would cut the pattern paper first and attach it, and then go ahead and cut the base paper. I think you'll have better luck and you won't have the struggle that I am having. I do have basically the same. That one's better. That one turned out better. I don't quite have a point on the bottom of that one, but I'm not going to worry about that. And I'll show you guys why here as we progress. You'll see that's probably going to get covered at some point anyway with some of the other ephemera pieces or a tag or something. So we're not going to worry about that. This is some good solid paper. I'm going to ink the edges of this one before gluing it down as well. Match that other one. Okay, and I'm just trying to place it so that the sides and the angle all have equal clearance. And I'm just kind of wiping that glue off the top so that I don't spread that anywhere. Okay, that's not too bad. And then we'll cut the top of that one. That one seemed to go a little bit smoother than the last one. All right. Okay, now let's see what kind of ephemera we want to add to this page. So if we're tentatively set up like that, and see, I did not put the red border at the top. I do need to ink that real quick, though. We get rid of that white edge. And the reason I didn't put the red border at the top is because it's going to be placed right up against that red border. And I wanted that green to be up against the outside border. So there was a reason behind doing it that way. I'm going to ink this other one so I don't forget. Okay. And now we're going to take some of our ephemera pieces and see what we want to add to this layout. I do have this Star Bright package, which has all the stars in it. I did open the tags because I thought when I started this process that I maybe would want to use these tags. So I'm going to take a look at those. And then I also added the word titles to my little stash of ephemera here. So let's see what we want to lay out here and see what's going to work and what maybe is not going to work. So if we can get all of this kind of laid out so you can see it, so you can see the process of what I'm doing here. Okay. All right, we've got our mats down. We've got our flags, one coming from the top, one from the bottom, opposite sides. I mean, my original idea was to use tags, and for some reason I'm really just kind of bent on doing that. So let's see if we can make that work. If not, I am going to have to change my plan and use some alternate ephemera pieces. I just think these little mice are so stinking cute. So I could back some of these tags too and place them in other places so that they would stand out. Let's look at, I'm really working on the layering, and I'm not going to deny I really struggle with that, you guys. For some reason, that is something that just is difficult for me, and I'm trying really hard. It's my goal this year to kind of get past some of that struggling and see if I can make it work. I mean, I absolutely adore other designers and scrapbookers when they layer up the ephemera. I just think it looks so neat, and I'm hoping to get to where I'm able to do that a little easier. So you guys are kind of along for some of the struggle with me on that, so I apologize. But we're gonna get through this. I'm gonna figure it out because I really want to be able to do that, and maybe with just a little more ease than I have doing it now. So I kind of like the tags sticking out the side there. The only thing that I will say, I'm going to add the ink and see if that gives it enough of an oomph to stand off the page, or if we're going to need to add maybe a little backer behind those tags. So I'm going to go ahead and ink those, and we'll see what we think. Okay, I think those stand up pretty good without backing them necessarily. So I think we're going to go with that for now. And I think I want to add a few stars to it as well. And we're going to go ahead and ink those and make sure they stand up off the tag good. Okay. All right, so far I'm liking that. I'm trying to decide if I should open up another little set of ephemera to add some more pieces and really work on the layering aspect of it. And I think that that might not be too bad of an idea. I'm seeing a couple pieces in here that maybe we might benefit from adding to this. So let's go ahead and get all of those out. And the pieces I'm thinking about are some more of these little flags. So these might be cute just to be added kind of randomly across the top. And then also these mice are stinking cute. So we're going to add a couple of them as well. It might not hurt to add a little. It's a totally different color. Add a few of the candy canes from this collection as well. It might be fun to kind of run the candy cane through the star. And let's see what other pieces we've got here. Got some cute stamps, some stars, a little bit of candy, these fun labels. Might be kind of fun to add behind some of those mats. And then these cute tags. Okay, so maybe we need to add some of these tags to some of this layering up here. Just trying to kind of create a little bit of a scene up there. Not loving that star and candy cane. So maybe we can find another one. And maybe we even end up layering it like that. Actually, I might pull this mouse down here. I can foresee that working just a little bit better. And maybe this mouse needs to sit right here. And maybe we should actually pop up, layer up those stars just a little bit more. Ink them and add a little foam behind them. And go something along that line. And maybe we could just hang a candy cane. Something like that. So that is what I'm going to work on, and I'm going to work on inking all of that. and hooking it down, and I'm just gonna speed that process up for you guys to watch, just because I am a little bit slower. It'll take me a little bit to kind of put that all back together, and then I'll slow it down and we'll do the other corner. And I do think I'm gonna end up hooking those down because I think the placement of those is actually gonna be pretty darn good. So I'll do that, and you guys can watch that in a little bit faster time. Okay, so this tag needs a hole punched in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I am going to go ahead and add a little ribbon to that. And I think I'll just go ahead and come through the back. And then you run your ends through that loop. And then you want to be careful not to pull too tight, or you'll rip right through your paper, which is something I tend to do quite often. And I feel like I'm going to do that if I pull any tighter. So that's going to be just a bit of a loose knot, and that's okay. I'm going to angle the edges of that ribbon, just because that's how I like to see those. And I've got some really pretty silver, thin silver twine that I just got, so I want to see if maybe I can use some of that, if I can get it open. There we go. And, oh, that is really dainty. I might actually double that. And I just want to tie a little bow around the top of that ribbon, just to add another dimension. It doesn't necessarily need to have it, but I just want to add a little sparkle to the page too. So I'm gonna go down as far as I can on that knot, tighten that up, and then tie a bow. All right, so I've got a pretty little bow. We'll trim off the excess. And then we want to tuck that under there. And of course, you all watched me attach that down, thankfully not with glue. Just use the photo tape, and that way I can lift it back up. But let's get some ribbon in this other tag too. And this one I want to use a little bit of the red. And I think I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I think I'm just going to run the ribbon through there, and I'm going to do a little piece of the pink as well. So we'll do the red and pink together. And I think I'm just going to use some more of this really pretty silver twine and tie a bow around that, rather than even try and tie a knot in that. We'll let a little more of that ribbon cover that paper there. I'm going to twist that. actually going to hold that with a clip. That might help me a little bit. You ever feel like you just need one more hand? All the time. All right, we'll tie another neat little bow. Actually, I'm going to tie a knot in that first. Otherwise, if that bow comes undone, that's going to totally, the whole thing's going to come unraveled on me. So, and keep this tight enough to tie a knot. Wow, only struggle because you're on camera, right? Well, I'd probably struggle anyway. Let's get serious. Okay, and there we go. We got our knot, and we'll tie our cute little bow. Okay. Trim our twine. Trim the ribbon down. We got some pretty long pieces here. Okay. We're going to tuck that one underneath. Let's see how that looks. Get those other flags out from under there. There we go. Some of that extra excess brushed off. Okay, so I want to tuck that flag under there just a little bit more because I can see. And we're going to want to trim this up just a little bit more so it doesn't hang over the picture quite so much. But I think that placement right there, let's get the rest of this back on here. Some of the garbage out of the way. These other mats back on here and see where they're gonna land in relation to that mat on top. Now, personally, I think maybe I should have placed this a little more to the left and just left a real skinny white border. I think that that's gonna lay out just a little bit better. I like the looks of that. Okay, so we can go ahead and add some tape to the back of these. I better put this one down first. Tuck that under there. And add the next one. Get all that twine untucked because I kind of like all that little shimmer. Don't have them quite at the same angle. Actually, I think I want to tuck the pink one in just a little bit more. All right. Okay, got that. Now back to layering all these pieces that I got inked. And let's see again just how we want to do that. I think I want to pop this Holiday Magic up on some foam tape. We're just going to use some skinny foam tape for that. Lift that up. Okay, and I'm not going to take that back off just yet because I'm not ready to set that fully in place yet. I just want to kind of preview it, as I like to call it. You got to preview your layout before you hook everything down. We're going to stick that like that. Stick that star. And I think we might use some foam and lift that star up as well. If not, the bigger star will lift up this second one for sure. And possibly that one. And maybe have that piece of candy sticking out the bottom underneath. Oh, and I have this candy cane if we decide to use it too. So maybe there. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like the way that that turned out. So I think we'll go ahead and start sticking some of this down. And we'll pull this off because we've got that one ready to go. I think we'll go ahead and I am not going to use glue because once you use glue, you're kind of stuck with where you've got everything. And I might find, see, I'm changing it already. I might find as I'm laying stuff down that I maybe need to lift it back up, don't get it exactly right, because even with the preview, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly how it's going to get laid out. I may change my mind as I start getting it laid down. Just like that, for example, I was able to pop that back up so I could fit that candy cane under there. And you know, I may decide that something needs to be on a foam dot instead of being flat. And we're going to put this on a piece of foam. And I'm just going to set those there again, since I keep kind of changing how I'm laying that out. Okay, we'll go ahead and set some of this. That one's got tape on it, just need to press it down. Okay. Press that down. I'm not going to add any wet adhesive to this star, just in case I need to move it. Stick that down there. Hook this little piece of candy down in this corner here. Stick the cute little mouse. And then the holiday magic. It's not too bad. I think that looks pretty good. I'm trying to decide if there's any other pieces that we should add to it. I don't know, you guys. Tell me in the comments below, you know, do you guys like to layer? Do you struggle with it like I do? Like I really, really seem to struggle with it. But I am going to get better. I'm going to really make it a priority to work on that. And I'm just finding some more, looking through some more of these dies here to see if I want to add a few more to this little tag here, or if I'm feeling like maybe I just need to be done with it. And I'm not really sure. I kind of like the arrow. And I'd say that's probably just need to be done. I can sit and look at this stuff and if we want to tuck a corner, I kind of like that. If I can find one maybe in a different color, possibly. Or even add yeah, I'm liking that actually. So I need to add a little bit of ink to this border star just to kind of make it pop just a little bit. And I'm not going to ink the inside of it. I'm just going to give the outside just a dusting of some ink, and I'm going to tuck it under there. And I know that they're the two different greens, but I think that kind of works, especially since we're going to add another star on top. Okay, and I think we'll pop this one up with just a little bit of foam as well, just to give another little piece of dimension. Okay, I think that corner looks good. I think we're good to put these mats down. I don't know that I'm going to add that. It would add a nice little area to do a little bit of like labeling of the picture. But I think we're going to go without. I think we'll just go ahead and get these mats put down. And this is why I don't line anything up. So I'm going to push this one to the outer edge and I'm going to push this one in just a touch. Okay, I'm going to trim that off. Ah! Okay, I am very happy with this side. I do think I want to maybe add a star down in this corner. Or maybe a couple stars. So let's add a couple stars. We're going to go ahead and ink a few more stars and get them ready to put on. I'm going to foam this one. And then let's add another one. Down in this bottom corner. And we'll go ahead and ink the outside of this one again. I'm not going to ink the inside of this one. And we're going to raise this one, maybe. I don't know that I'm going to put this one on foam actually. I'm going to put this one flat, but I'm not going to attach I'm only going to glue down this part so that when you want to put your photo in here, it'll slide right under there. So we'll just glue the bottom half of this star. And we don't want it to cover too much of the photo area either, so that should work. You can still slide a photo underneath both of those, like that. Okay, so one page of our 2-page spread I think looks really, really good. Now we just need to make the coordinating page, and for me, I personally will need to be able to see them together because I feel like I could decorate them both, and then when you put them together, they might not really coordinate as well, and that just might be in my mind, but that's how I would need to do it. So I think for this side, I'm going to go ahead and put down the mats because I'm pretty well set on where they're going to go. And as you saw on the other one, I can pull them off and change them just because I am using the tape runner that can be lifted off the page. So go there with that one. And maybe we won't set this one down just yet. Maybe we need to decide what's going to happen with this corner. And I think it would be fun to kind of follow along with the same concept and maybe bring 2 tags coming out from underneath there. So let's see what we've got for some colorful tags to come out from that side. And we've got that pretty one there, and then a striped one there. And I think those 2 are going to be the ones that I want to work with. So we've got that visual. Let's go ahead and pull this tray back in here, and let's just follow suit with that ticket, I think, and put another ticket on this side. I mean, we basically could use a lot of the same elements. And yeah, I want a candy cane going the other way. Coming out of there. And I'd already pulled this cute little mouse over here, so this mouse certainly could actually tuck right under there. Maybe I did want this candy cane. Let's see. And maybe the stars for this one. Those ones went to the inside with the tags. Maybe I do want it to go there too. Find all the different size tags, or stars, I guess, and see what's gonna coordinate with the right colors lined up. Okay, we've got the tag, we've got the stars. We can set the little mouse right on top here. Have a candy cane coming out the side here. And do we want to find another favorite music, gingerbread houses, shopping around here? We've got holiday magic up on the top, so kind of want something to go maybe it just needs to be as simple as either fa la 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 or the twinkle. Holly Jolly's a bit bigger, and I think I want something longer to kind of pull out. Maybe the Merry and Bright, actually. Okay. So I'm thinking that that goes along with it real well. Okay, so being a newbie to this whole process, I need to figure out a way that my camera does not stop recording when I receive messages. So that is what happened while I was putting together the right page here. So I'm just going to explain some of this a little bit. Basically found 2 more tags, went ahead and inked them, tied the ribbon again, added the little bit of twine to it as well. And then basically just followed the same layering that I did on the other side. And I found another ticket, layered the stars, did pop one up with the foam tape. And I did pop another one up here in the corner with the foam tape. And then I added the cute little piece of candy down here in this corner. And then added a popped up star at the bottom of this photo mat. And then one here in between all these photo mats. And that one, again, because they're popped up when you put your photo under there, you know, that's basically what your photo's going to look like with it matted. And then same here. So you can either, you know, trim your photo or trim this ribbon if it's going to interfere with the photo you put here, or just let it overhang the photo. Either way, I just wanted to kind of explain this process to you. It was very much like the first side, and oh, look at that. I didn't attach that one, so let's go ahead and glue this one down real quick. And then we'll take a final look at both pages. And for those of you who have stuck with me for this whole process, I appreciate you following along with me. And I'm gonna just go ahead and admit this And I said it at the beginning of the video, this is a little bit of a struggle for me to lay out pages without the pictures. And then also this whole concept of this layering all of this detail here, that is also a bit of a challenge for me. So all in all though, I feel like this 2-page spread turned out really nicely. So if you would like to replicate any of these pages, I do have all of this stuff available on my website, and I will link it below. I'll link all the items that I used in my video. And I appreciate you following along, and I'll have a new video for you next Saturday. Thanks for joining me.